All right, so hey everybody, I am back. Feel a whole lot better. So I had a head and chest cold, and it was just like bouncing back and forth between my chest and my head, and my chest and my head, and I was like, oh my god. But I'm back to myself. I can talk a little, all that good stuff. I feel good. I know that National Domestic Violence Month is over, but I'm gonna put this ticker up anyway because we shouldn't just be thinking about that for 1 month out of the year. Somebody might need that help at any time. So, anyway, tonight we're going to look at this Amber Alert and a few stories about the Amber Alert I found to be a little interesting that gave a little more detail as far as like the situation. I also found her Facebook page, but I don't know. I can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, so I can't talk and try to do this. Terrible. Take that out. Yeah, but I also found her Facebook page. There's really nothing on it. It's a private page. You can only see like her profile picture and her banner picture. I did go through and find a lot of her relatives with a shared last name, and so I'm pretty sure that Facebook profile is hers. It's just privated, so you really can't see anything. All right, so this is Gracelyn Pratt from Wyoming. She's missing since the 17th, so I think that was yesterday. What's today? The 18th? Yeah, she's missing since yesterday from Casper, Wyoming. She is a 14-year-old white female with blonde hair and blue eyes. She stands 5'1", 109 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black zip-up jacket with a white undershirt, black leggings, and brown knee-high boots. She is believed to be with James Martin. I also tried to look up his Facebook page. No luck. She is believed to be with James Martin, 36 years old, 5 feet 10, between 260 and 300 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. The vehicle is a black 2014 Ford four-door pickup. It's an F-150. The Wyoming plates 1 truck 36929. Y'all, excuse me, I'm still a little clogged up in my sinuses. Um, it has a lift kit with Star Wars stick figures on the back. If located, call 911. And we're gonna look at his picture up close. This is him. So this is the 36-year-old man who, Christ's sake, just ran off with a 14-year-old girl. He's like 22 years older than her. Sick, but it is what it is. I want to understand their relationship a little better. As far as like, is he related to her? Has he been grooming her? From what I can tell, from so here, from what I can tell from what I've been reading, it seems like a grooming situation. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I've got two articles on this. And there you see him and her, and I believe that's just a stock image of the type of truck. Yeah, I think they did say in the article a family friend in the second article I have pulled up. So this one, officials in Wyoming issued an Amber Alert Thursday for a missing 14-year-old out of Casper. Gracelyn Pratt was last seen Wednesday morning and may be headed to Montana. She is believed to be with 36-year-old James Martin. And again, it goes through the description. Pratt is a blonde, has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's 5'1", 109 pounds. She was wearing a black zip-up top with a white undershirt, black leggings, and brown knee-high boots. Martin is 5'10", 260 to 300 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. He drives a black F-150 four-door truck with a lift kit and Wyoming plates 1-36929. If anyone has any information, they're asked to call 307-235-8278 or call 911. Sleuthy! And this just gives the same information again. And these are stock images of the truck. So it's not the actual truck, but it is like this. So picture this truck with a lift kit on it and those stickers on it. Now, the next article I want to share actually gives a little bit more information. I wanted to pull that one up because it had that stock image. Here we go. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Oh goodness, I forgot to add it to the stream. I'm so sorry. But there's a picture of this truck in this one too. So, all right. Uh, first video. All right. The Casper Police Department recently released a statement regarding the Amber Alert that was called for a missing 14-year-old Casper girl who had been reported missing on November 16th. According to the statement, Casper police took a runaway report involving the girl, Gracelyn Pratt. Gracelyn's legal guardian reported Gracelyn missing when she did not return home from school, the CPD wrote. The Casper Police Department's criminal investigation unit assigned a detective to the case who immediately began looking into Gracelyn's whereabouts. I like her name. Through the course of that investigation, it was learned that Gracelyn had been having long-term communication with an adult family acquaintance identified as James Warren Martin. Hey, Arctic. Hey, Seal. Wow, everybody's coming out. I feel so loved. According to Casper Police, it's believed that Gracelyn is currently with Martin, and Martin is alleged to be interfering with the legal custody of a minor. This is in violation of Wyoming state statute. The statement the statement says that both Martin and Gracelyn have been seen in Martin's vehicle, identified as a 2014 Ford F-150 with a lift kit. Gracelyn is described as standing 5 foot 1 inch tall, weighing 109 pounds. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. Martin is described as standing 5 foot 10, weighing between 260 and 300 pounds. And he has blue eyes and brown hair. If you see either the victim, the suspect, or the truck, contact Casper Police Department at 307-235-8278 or call 911. All right, so let's see if this is a picture I can click on. I guess not. But we got some pictures down here. Is this a tweet? Facebook. All right, we got some pictures of that's her, and I guess that's her mom. They look enough alike that's probably her mom. Then we got a picture of him with somebody's baby. I fear for babies around him. Shoot. And there's him again. So he has like a kind of strawberry blonde thing going on. One thing I noticed about him is his brow ridge. It's kind of pronounced. So that's something that you can look for. That pronounced kind of brow ridge. And that is it for Gracelyn's case. Because what I really want to get to is this other case, but please keep your eyes open. Again, she's missing out of Casper, Wyoming. She's with that Perv, James Martin, and they are in a black 2004 Ford F-150 with a lift kit. Oh yeah, I gave out wrenches for my birthday this year. They're gonna be my forever mods because they were here from the very beginning. All right, the next thing that we're gonna look at is the Idaho case, and I found some really interesting stuff. Like I want to start with this one, even though this isn't. Which one is it? Hold on, let me get this open. Here we go. Because apparently there was this. Everybody's so focused on this four murders at the U of Idaho. The University of Virginia had three murders the same weekend. So I wanted to put this out here. So maybe my next live will be about the UVA murders. All right. Says today we are reeling from two tragedies at other universities. This is actually from George Mason University that this article comes from. The overnight murders of three at the University of Virginia and the apparent murders of four at University of Idaho students. We stand in solidarity and grief with our fellow students, faculty, and staff from UVA and Idaho on behalf of a deeply saddened university community. I offer our collective condolences and support to both communities. And I'm not going to read the whole article, but I just wanted to point that out because I haven't until I came across this article when I was looking for the U of Idaho information. I had no idea that anything had happened at the University of Virginia. So I'm pretty sure if I don't know about it, there's a lot of people who don't know about it because I'm constantly like scrolling through news apps and watching stuff on YouTube. And even if I don't cover it, 9 times out of 10, I've heard of it. This one took me by surprise. So I'm gonna see what I can dig up on that tomorrow, and so that we can go over that because those are victims as well, and those victims need justice. They need awareness. Their families need awareness to bring attention to that case, also, so that tips can come in. People can start talking about it. Maybe somebody will have that one tip that'll get something solved. All right, so just wanted to share that little article real quick. I'm not going to go through all of the articles that I had pulled up because I had a bunch of them pulled up. And with my sinuses not acting right with me, I'm not going to keep trying to like sound all crazy in y'all's ears talking through my nose or not being able to talk through my nose, however that works. Y'all know I'm weird. Anyway, but uh, I'm going to go through the press conference because I was listening to it early, and the press conference does give a lot of good information and insight, even though they held back a lot, which I'm glad they did because as we see in like the Michael Vaughn case where they were really sharing information, but they were keeping a lot of stuff on hold, and some other cases lately, excuse me, some other cases lately where they held back and then boom, they got the person that they were looking for. So um, I think they were informative without giving away too much. So here is, and before I play this whole like 30-minute press conference, have y'all already seen the press conference? Because if y'all have already seen the press conference, I'm not going to put y'all through watching it again just for me to comment on it. I'll just post it separate, and we could go through some of these articles instead. So it is viewers' choice tonight. Are we going to do the press conference, or are we going to do the articles? Okay, so everybody's pretty much seen it. So what I'll do is I will download that, I will hook it up, make sure the audio is good and all that kind of stuff, and I will post it separate. So if you haven't seen it, you can see it, and if you've seen it and want to see it again, you can see it again. So let's close that out, and these articles are going to kind of be out of order. But I guess it really doesn't matter because I really didn't have any particular order that I wanted to read them in. But I pulled up these four because they all have just slightly different information and insight. All right, Moscow. The Moscow Police Department could not say this. Okay, this is the one about them changing from saying there was no threat to the community to now they can't be sure there's not a threat to the community. So the Moscow Police Department could not say there was no threat to the public at the news conference on Wednesday. MPD Chief James Fry repeatedly acknowledged the suspect, quote, is still out there, unquote, but reiterated that the department believes this is an isolated, calculated attack on the victims. We cannot say that there is no threat to the community, said Fry. The remarks came after days of police telling the community there wasn't a threat, but stressing the need to stay vigilant. Many in the community had called for more answers since Sunday. Fry acknowledged the community's frustration. This the reality is that I probably should have been standing here a day or so ago, but I'm standing here now, said Fry. Idaho State Police Colonel Kendrick Wills defended MPD's approach to sharing information, saying it's necessary to strike a balance in order to protect the integrity of the case. And that is perfectly well said. That is perfectly well said. There has to be a balance. Like take Summers' case for instance, I think that law enforcement there should be sharing more than what they've shared because they've got nowhere. And if I feel like if they share a little bit more information on Summers' case, out of the stuff that they're just kind of keeping quiet and keeping secret, I think if they, I think if they share a little bit more, then they might actually start getting some credible tips in instead of these wackos calling in, you know, with the other stuff. Um, there's something to be said for withholding information, but there's also something to be said for sharing facts. Okay, so it's a balancing act of getting the community the information they need to have with making sure we provide a case that the Vada County prosecutor's office can go forward with. Fry shared some insight into the status of the investigation. He said investigators are working to follow up on leads and establish a timeline, and that his department is receiving assistance from the FBI and the ISP. Fry said two other residents were at home at the time of the attacks, but the investigation isn't limited to them. Now, that's the part that really blew me out of the water that you have four people that got murdered in a horrific and gruesome way, and there were two other people in the house, and nobody heard or saw anything, but they're not the suspects. And because this is a stabbing, I mean, these people were each stabbed multiple times, right? So I saw a headline somewhere where one of the victim's parents said that she fought her attacker. She fought back against her attacker. So I would imagine there would be some screaming, some bumping and knocking, some thuds or something that should have gotten somebody's attention. I mean, as hard as I sleep, I can stuff will wake me up. And that's just at like kid level off the chain decibels. I can imagine if somebody is fighting for their life, they're going to be a whole lot louder than some noisy kids, right? So I don't know. That kind of threw me for a loop. I just don't understand that. But then again, if you think about this, and this just crossed my mind, in the Jodi Arias case, she shot him, and there were other people in the house, and they didn't hear the gunshot. So it's possible, I guess. I mean, and then again, it would depend on how they stabbed them first. I mean, if they cut their throat first and they can't scream, they might have died faster and the rest of the stabs came after. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. So I guess it is possible that nobody heard anything. Oh, Jody? Jody shot him and I think she stabbed him too, but I can't remember for sure if she stabbed him. I know she drug him all over the place and then put him back in the shower. So, I mean, that crime scene was a bloody mess. but she shot him, and nobody else in the house heard the shots. So I mean, it's possible. I never understand how people don't hear gunshots right next to them or whatever, or right in the next room, because I can be sitting on the porch and hear gunshots miles away, and I can even sometimes even guess that it's a smaller caliber or a larger caliber or whatever, just by the sound of it. So I really don't get it when stuff happens right there in the house where you are and you don't know anything about it. 27 times. Yeah, I thought she stabbed him. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, Jody Arias is a lunatic. Um, I says we don't know why the call came in at noon. Okay, wait a minute. When pressed on why a call to police didn't come in until noon, while the attack took place late Saturday night, Fry said that's unclear. We don't know why the call came in at noon rather than midnight, said Fry. So the other thing is the person that even made the the phone call, the emergency call, didn't even say there was a stabbing. They made a phone call about an unconscious person or unresponsive person. They didn't say that this person was stabbed and bleeding. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I I really want to see how this one plays out. Anyone with information that can help investigators is asked to call a special tip line set up by the MPD. That number is 208-833-7180. Yeah, Jody Arias is something else. Like if I had my own when Jody Arias stuff was going on, I think I would have got a ton of episodes out of her because she is something to decipher. Seriously. Did anybody watch like her interrogation video where she was standing on her head and stuff? It's so weird. I mean, she's like a whole new bowl of crazy. Okay. This one says that there's a video with says newly ID'd mystery man seen with slain University of Idaho students not believed to be tied to killings. So apparently somebody was hanging out with them. Let's see what this is saying. Oh, so they suspect so one, two, three. That's three of them. Oh, okay, yeah. White hoodie. I saw something about that somewhere. I think they did an interview. They did. The person that they had circled here with the white hoodie on did an interview. I was really kind of busy at the time. I was just scrolling through for information, but I will find that interview. I will get their permission to share it. They're usually that creator is usually really good about letting people share their content. So um, I'll get their permission to share it, and then we could probably go through that. Robot. Oh, is my sound messed up? Hold on. How about now? Is this better? I had that crisp thing on because the kids are playing the game. All right, hold on a second. Let me close my doors. Yeah, so I was trying out Chris, and because the kids are in there playing a game, and they got it up pretty loud, and that TV is like on the shared wall. So I guess it won't interfere too much though. So was the guy in the white hoodie the taco truck guy? Okay, so the guy in the white hoodie is the taco truck guy, and apparently he got cleared and he did an interview. Okay, I'm catching up. Oh, I get it. Now I get it why you call him the taco truck guy. Okay, I get it now. Y'all know I'm special sometimes. Don't judge me. All right, a mystery man spotted with two of the slain University of Idaho students hours before they were murdered has been identified and is apparently cooperating with police. Okay, I don't want to go through the whole. Says we were able to identify him. As far as I know, he has cooperated with police, and that's all that I know about that. Okay, so he was walking behind the two girls, so apparently that might be what drew attention to him and hovering nearby while they chatted with each other. Okay, so I guess apparently they started out thinking that he was kind of low key stalking them at the taco truck. From the way they were talking, it sounds like they have a specific suspect in mind, and I was wondering why they haven't put the name out there. Now, this article here, and this is going to be the last one. Um, I'm not going to go through that fourth article. Oh, I might have to go through both of these. This one has some interesting wording. Let me get this pulled up here. Wording kind of sticks out to me a lot. I mean, that's what kind of draws my attention because how you phrase something really puts like a thought or a train of thought in a person's mind. And so the way that these headlines are framed is what kind of has me scratching my head sometimes. Crispy tacos do sound so good. The real tacos, like real Mexican tacos, not Taco Bell tacos. So it says Idaho murderers, two other roommates home at time of killing but declined to call 911. That declined, like it just jumps out at me. Like it's just slapping me all upside the head. Like declined. I mean, why would you phrase it that way? To decline to call 911 is like you knew something was going on, but you chose to let whatever was happening just play itself out instead of calling for help. Well, see, what I'm gathering from the reading and the videos that I've been doing is that the roommates who were home at the time of the murders did call to report it, but they called like hours and hours later. These people, the four people were killed sometime after 1:45 a.m., which would have been like early Sunday morning, late Saturday night. And no one contacted help until about noon that Sunday. I thought they said that one of the people that lived in the house called 911. I could be wrong. Called the called to report it. I'm not sure if they called 911 or non-emergency number or what. But I don't know. I mean, it's just we're gonna go through it before it's over with. We're gonna figure it out together. But that word decline. That is just bugging me so bad. Like, why would you phrase it that way? Are you trying to, use a wider variety of words or something, and just that one don't really fit well, or did you intentionally say decline? Okay, more questions than answers continue to plague the Moscow, Idaho community after the fatal stabbing of four University of Idaho students, and police said they cannot assure the community is safe. Moscow Police Chief James Fry gave an update Wednesday saying two additional roommates were in the home at the time of the killings, who were neither injured nor held hostage. Fry also said two of the victims, Ethan Chapin, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle, were at a party on campus, while the other two victims, Madison Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves, I have never heard any of these last names in my life anywhere else, were at a downtown bar prior to their deaths. Okay, so Ethan and Xana were at a campus party, and Madison and Kaylee were at a bar downtown. Sleuth. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like they declined to call 911. So you walk in and see somebody brutally murdering your roommates and just like, oh well, I'm going back to bed. I'll deal with it later. All four arrived back home sometime after 1:45 a.m. local time, Fry said. They were killed, quote, sometime in the early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th, unquote. But there are no calls to 911 until noon Sunday. Fry did not say who called 911, despite two people being in the home when the killing took place and when officers responded. Fry also declined to say if the two people spoke with police. Curiouser and curiouser. We're not going to go any further into what we know and what we don't know. He did say the call came in for an unconscious person, not a person with a stab wound. There was also no evidence of forced entry. Ding, 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 ding. Fry did admit all four victims were killed with a knife, though no weapon has been located at this time. As of Wednesday evening, excuse me, there is neither identity nor location of a suspect. We cannot say there's no threat to the community. As we have stated, please stay vigilant. Report any suspicious activity and be aware of your surroundings at all times. They're probably not going to let those 911 calls go. It would be good to hear them though. I mean, even just to know who called. Did the roommates call? Did one of the roommates call? Did somebody else come over to visit and they called? Or they made the roommate call? I wouldn't put it past them because I'm you're in a house where four people, not just one, but four people are stabbed to death. Stabbing is brutal and violent and noisy, and you got at least one that fought back, and so that's screaming and yelling. And can you imagine? Maybe one of the roommates is the killer, and they're playing it off really well. Yeah, sleuth. That is an idea that maybe the murderer got impatient and called it in. That's happened in cases before. Huh. I can't think off the top of my head right now what case it was, but there was a serial killer who started calling in his kills because he wanted the people found sooner rather than later. But I can't think of who that was right now. All right, let's see. Like, what if the murderer was waiting for the roommates to find them and they got impatient because they never called? Yeah, Elizabeth, it's noisy. You can't. I don't, how do you not hear that? Okay, we cannot say there's no. I read that part. Fry's comment came just one day after the Moscow Police Department said in a news release there was no threat to the public, and evidence led investigators to believe this was a targeted attack. And now that part I'll agree with because apparently you have at least 6 people living in this house because there's the 4 that were murdered and then the 2 who were there while the murder was going on but weren't harmed. So if I go into a house and I'm just on a killing spree, why wouldn't I kill all 6 people? Why would I only kill 4 and leave these other 2 who could possibly have witnessed something and I didn't see them peeping around a corner while I was stabbing somebody else? So targeted makes absolute sense. Yeah, Elizabeth, that's what I was saying. I mean, unless they were like severely injured with the first blow, like throat cut, you can't scream because your vocal cords are severed, or Of course, there's also the possibility that more happened than just stabbing. Stabbing may have been like the main part of the murder, but who's to say that they didn't hit them over the head really hard with something and, before they started stabbing them? They're dazed and can't talk, can't scream because, they're kind of dazed out for a second. That's possible too. Ethan and his girlfriend were just there, and it was really the other 2 girls that were the targets. I think video is really going to play a lot in this video of like where they were, not just the taco stand, but if there's any video from the party that the 2 were at or the bar that the other 2 were at, depending on how they traveled. Did they walk from the locations from the party and the bar to go home to get to the taco truck? I mean, and then walk home from there or what? Because if there's video, there's a chance of seeing the same person on video, like some creep at the bar who also happens to be some creep over by the taco stand, or maybe somebody at the party was caught on camera being weird. Then they were caught on camera at the taco shack or something, or on somebody's ring doorbell. But I think in the end, video is going to really, um, video is really going to be a major key in this case. Okay, they took an Uber home from the taco truck. So if they took an Uber home from the taco truck, they probably took an Uber from the bar to the taco truck. Um, I want to think logically, when people have been out partying and drinking or whatever, they're not really trying to go all the way across town to eat. So that taco truck may well have been downtown near the bar. I'm going to see if I can find out. Or it could have been near the location of the campus party, because I know a lot of times you'll find like food trucks and stuff close to college campuses, or different places where they know there's going to be a lot of people. 6-minute walk from the club. Okay, so not far at all. Oh, no problem, Sue. Take care of those juniors and juniors. um I don't know. I'm just brainstorming while I'm doing this, guys, because I'm just really getting up to speed. I've been trying all day to like take notes and stuff, but it just has not worked out. Y'all's best friend Bubby has been on one. Let me tell y'all, she has been bouncing around, hopping around, singing, jumping on the bed, and I can't go anywhere because as soon as I move, she says, "Gigi, where are you going? Come back, Gigi." I love that girl. She is such a sweetheart. I love her. All right, so college town on edge after killings. The killings and lack of information have rankled Moscow, a 25,000 strong city nestled in the Idaho Washington border. The college town has not recorded a murder since 2015. Wow, not a single murder in 7 years. That's good. According to state police data, residents are anxious and are getting out of Dodge. Lotta, is that going to be Lotta or Lada? I don't know. I'm going to say Lotta. Lotta County Sheriff's Deputy Scott told the Idaho Statesman. If anybody just happens to know how to pronounce that name, the father of one of the victims issued a statement Wednesday calling on police to release further information about the killings. There is a lack of information from the University of Idaho and the local police, which only fuels false rumors and innuendo in the press and social media. Yep, we've seen that. Summer's case is a prime example of how everything goes crazy if law enforcement isn't at least sharing some type of factual information. People just start making up all kind of stuff. I'm still waiting for them to start saying an alien abducted her. I really and truly think somebody's going to say an alien abducted Summer, and they're going to be dead serious about it. Social media. The silence further compounds our family's agony after our son's murder. For Ethan and his three dear friends slain in Moscow, Idaho, and all of our families, I urge officials to speak the truth, share what they know, find the assailant, and protect the greater community. I'm pretty sure if I dig down deep enough in these YouTube rabbit holes, there's somebody already saying that she was abducted by an alien. I guarantee you, I would be willing to bet on that. Bubby finally went to sleep on time, man. She been staying up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning lately. I was ready to throw her. Oh, I told her I'm gonna throw you away and get me a new Bubby. She said, "You can't throw me away." She right. I wouldn't if I could. Green said Wednesday, the university is encouraging students and employees to take care of themselves as they head into Thanksgiving break. Blaine Eccles, University Dean of Students, did say there would be a candlelight vigil on November 30th. Details are being finalized. CNN has reached out to the university for comment and information on the case. What little the public does know is grisly. Latta County Coroner Kathy Mabbutt. They just got weird names out there for some reason. What she saw at the gruesome crime scene. There's quite a bit of blood in the apartment, and it is a pretty traumatic scene to find 4 dead college students in a residence. Quite a bit of blood. That might be an understatement. Oh my God, a pterodactyl. Um, I just have to rub my forehead on that one. I don't know. I don't know what to think of these people. All right. Mabbutt said the coming autopsy could provide further information about what happened. There could be more. There could be some evidence of the suspect that we get during the autopsies, which would be helpful. So this is the identification of them. So it's two 20-year-olds and two 21-year-olds. God, that is so freaking sad. Just hours before their deaths, Kaylee posted a photo of the foursome with the caption "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day," adding a heart emoji. Chapin was one of three triplets. Oh wow, that is heartbreaking. All of whom are enrolled at the University of Idaho, the family said. Wow. So Ethan was a triplet. That is extra heartbreaking. Ethan lit up every room he walked into and was a kind, loyal, loving son, brother, cousin, and friend, his mother, Stacy Chapin, said. Words cannot express the heartache and devastation our family is experiencing. It breaks my heart to know we will never be able to hug or laugh with Ethan again. but it's also excruciating to think about the horrific way he was taken from us. Wow. Olivia Goncalves, Kaylee's sister, sent a statement to the Idaho Statesman on behalf of her family and Mogan's. They were smart, they were vigilant, they were careful, and this all still happened. No one is in custody, and that means no one is safe. Yes, we are all heartbroken. Yes, we are all grasping. But more strong than any of these feelings is anger. We are angry. You should be angry. Jasmine Kernodle, Xana's older sister, described her as positive, funny, and loved by everyone who met her. Xana was one of the best people I have ever known. I am lucky to have had her as a sister. She was loved by so many and had the best friends surrounding her. You rarely get to meet someone like Xana. She was so lighthearted and always lifted up a room. She made me such a proud big sister, and I wish I could have had more time with her. She had so much life left to live. My family and I are at a loss of words, confused and anxious, waiting for updates on the investigation. She also offered condolences to the other victims and their families. My sister was so lucky to have them in her life. Due to the killings, the city canceled its long-standing Art Walk Festival in respect for the victims of this week's tragedy at the University of Idaho campus, as well as those in the Vandal and Moscow community who are united in mourning. Wow, man, this story just gets sadder and sadder. Like, yeah, and bizarre. Just more bizarre and heartbreaking. That just really threw me though. That Ethan was one of a set of triplets, man. That's well, guys. That's about all I can take for tonight. The bizarre. What Instagram posts? I never get on Instagram, so I miss everything on there. Um, Send me a link, please. Seal you or drop it on the Discord or something. I want to see them because this case is it's something, and I don't know what to call it. Okay, all right, I will do that indeed. We might look at them together tomorrow if I find anything. I don't know, man. Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me. I'm getting sleepy now. But I was determined to make sure that I was on here on this live tonight. So I didn't even take my medication yet because I knew it was going to make me sleepy. So that just means that I am going to sleep very well tonight. Okay, Xana. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna do this on here. I don't know why. I'm an airhead. But thanks guys for joining, um, and for being here with me, hanging out. I missed being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.